Hi everyone, welcome back for another Beyblade Burst Sparking Super King unboxing, and today we've got the third booster from the three that were released around the same time as the series. So we'll get a little break now and get some battling done after we've finished with this unboxing, and today we are opening up Glide Ragnarok, so making a comeback after a break during the previous GT series, and also making a comeback himself is Rentaro. So we actually didn't see him for two series during the series before GT, the Chozetsu or Chozi series. His brother actually took over ownership of Ragnarok, so good to see him again. And let's go over to the back of our packaging. So new packaging, rather streamlined, and I like what they've done with this design. This lip up here. So above that lip, we've got an image of Glide Ragnarok all by himself this time. So during my unboxing of the previous boosters, it was actually an image of the Bay battling, but this time it's just Ragnarok by itself. And to the right are the owners of those two previous boosters. And then on the lip we've got small stat there, which I can't read, so won't bother. And then a small image of our some of our parts here joined together. So we've got the top half of the bay assembled, then our disc and driver, and then a breakdown of all those parts below here. So we've got a chip as our first part. So just like the GT series, we do get a chip, but unfortunately you cannot use these chips on that previous series of bays, but there are some differences with this chip that are quite significant as well. So we'll go into that once we get everything opened up. And our chip is the Ragnarok chip. And then I'm just going to say too, I went into these details quite a bit with the other unboxings, but I'm going to do it again with this one, and then hopefully I won't have to do it as much during future unboxings. So our next part is what they call a ring now. So we don't have layers anymore, we've got rings. As our ring is Glide, so with our chip and ring we get Glide Ragnarok, and below that is another change to our parts. So we've got a chassis now. So our chassis can come in two different types. So we get a single chassis and a double chassis. So this one is the first time we're going to be seeing a single chassis, and it's called 1S, so one stamina. And then we have a new disc. So this one is called Wheel, and I'm pretty interested in checking that out. And then we have our driver, which is Revolve, so making a bit of a comeback itself. There is Revolve. We haven't seen that in quite a while, yeah, don't know how excited I am about that. It would have been nice if it was a dash. That would have been a lot better. So yeah, the other image is just letting us know about those single and double chassis. So a double one has a disc already attached to it, which cannot be removed. A single is one that you can add a disc to. Alright, well that's it for our packaging. So let's get him open up and have a closer look at everything that's inside. Okay, everything is out of the packaging and on our table, and we do have some stickers to put on, so I'm going to go ahead and get that done, and then we'll come back. back from getting all those stickers on, and let's start by having a look at this chip and ring setup. Okay, so here is our Glide Ragnarok combination, and his ring actually comes with a small gimmick. And when you're spinning, these little sections here extend out a small way. And the type of style we get with this ring is a defensive stamina style, so it has a good amount of weight on the outside, nicely balanced, and these little sections that do extend out bring that weight that little bit more outward, increasing his stamina and possibly giving us a little bit more contact surface. And that's pretty much it for our ring. So moving on to our center chip here, we're going to remove him and have a closer look. Here is that Ragnarok chip removed from the ring now, and I'll quickly show you how I did do that. So with these rings we have these slots here, and those slots have a larger portion to one side of them, and then our chips have these feet either side of them, and you just line those two up and you'll drop in and then give a little bit of a twist, and there we go, you'll clip into place, and then just do the opposite to remove him once again. Another thing to take note of is we have a R stamped on our ring, so that indicates that it is a right directional spinning ring. And moving back to our chip, and I'm going to flip him over, and you'll see that we actually do not get any teeth attached to these chips anymore. So with the GT series, the chips held the teeth for the bay, and now they've been moved to a different section, but we do have what they call a core to our chips that can be removed. So we just apply a bit of pressure to these two little outer sections there, and that core will pop off, and then give him a little twist to further remove him. And there we go. And this is actually the same core that we got with that random booster volume 19. So I have that here, and there we are, completely identical to each other. But then if I grab my core from King Helios's chip, there is a quite a significant difference between the two. So King Helios's one is quite large, so that would probably make a slight difference to the weight of our bay, and I expect there to be a few different variations to be released of these cores, and possibly a metal one or a metal incorporated one, sort of like our God series of bays, where they had a chip that could be removed from the center of those, and they had two different types of metal incorporated ones of those to change the weight. And we'll get that back on, and that's just a matter of putting him back in sideways and then giving him a small twist so he flattens back out, and then lining back up, and there we are. You're going to push down and he clips back in. So that's it for our chip, and we're going to move on to our next part, which is that single chassis. So here we go with our chassis for this bay, and as I mentioned before, it is the single chassis. We've got 1S stamped on it here, so letting us know that it is a stamina style, and then we've got an LR on the inside here stamped, letting us know that it can be attached to both a left rotating and right rotating bay. And then another thing is it is actually quite thin, so compared to the double chassis that we got with King Helios and Super Hyperion. So I've got King Helios chassis here, which is really thick. Yeah, there is quite a big difference between the two. And then again, when we do attach our disc to it, it will thicken up quite a bit. And I'm going to flip him over, And here is where you will find the teeth for the bay now, and it looks like our teeth for Ragnarok are actually quite tall, so we're going to get some pretty strong teeth for this bay, which is a nice difference actually, because Ragnarok doesn't have the best track record with teeth strength, so I'm looking forward to seeing how strong those are. And next up, we have our disc. And with our disc, we get a completely new one called Wheel, and it is quite impressive how heavy this thing actually is. I'd say this would definitely be one of the heaviest discs available at the moment, making it probably pretty top tier. And I'd say a lot of people are going to be coming up with some new combos using it. It has the majority of its weight extended to the outside, making it perfect for stamina. Has these hollow cutouts, taking the weight away from the inner portion. And yeah, I can't wait to try that out. Okay, next up, finally, we have our driver, and it's nothing really new, but we are going to go over it anyway. Getting a reunion with Ragnarok now is our driver Revolve. So this did actually come with the second release of Ragnarok. I'm sure it was the second one. Don't 100% quote me on that. So it has a free spinning frame surrounding its plastic sharp tip there. The frame has some teeth on it, so we will get a little bit of movement out of it in our stadium, and that frame will help aid in its last stability. So that's it for our driver. We're going to piece everything together now, and I'll show you how this bay does piece together, and then we'll feel how strong those teeth actually are. We've got our ring and chip and chassis, and the way to join them together is our chassis has these two gaps here, and then on the inside of our ring you'll notice these small plastic sections that stick out. Line those two up and then give it a little push down, and you'll hear that click, and there we are. Those two halves are united, and then we'll get our disc, and that just drops in like any other Beyblade. And we'll get our driver in there, so let's have a listen to those teeth, and there we are. And wow, those really are quite strong, especially for a Ragnarok bay. Wow, that's really awesome that they've gone and done that. Sweet. Okay, well, let's get that stadium out and do a test launch and finish off with a little battle. Here is our stadium all set up, and 3, 2, 1, go shoot. There we are. Oh, getting a little bit of movement there due to those teeth most probably, and then it was settled back down for what is probably going to be a really decent amount of stamina, thanks to how heavy this bay is due to that wheel disc, and added with that revolve. Okay, well, I'm not going to wait it out until this bay does stop spinning, so we're going to move on to our little single round battle. Okay, and for that battle I've chosen the Chozi custom set Crash Ragnarok with Volcanic Dash as the driver, so that should make him that little bit stronger. And here we go, 3, 2, 1, go shoot. Chipping away at each other, and some good contact, and out goes our new Glide Ragnarok. Geez, that was a bit of a surprise. I didn't know whether he could actually be shifted from the center there with the amount of weight that he carries, but these don't count Crash Ragnarok out. Well, that'll be it from me for now, and I hope you liked the video, and have a happy Easter, and until next time, enjoy the rest of your day.